We're here on the historic Hayward Field track at the University of Oregon, where the top 3 finishers on this track in most events will qualify to compete in the Rio Olympic Games. We'll have many competitors from our San Francisco Bay Area, the Peninsula, Stanford athletes past and present, competing for those berths in very tough competition. Only a few will make it. This competition may be tougher in some events than the actual Olympics. We'll bring you some highlights from that meet and some interviews. Bernard Lagat, well known to Bay Area track and field fans for his exploits as a star in the Pac-10 conference, won a significant race at Stanford in June at the 10,000 meters. At age 41, he surprised everybody with his U.S. leading time, and that sort of set the stage for his 5,000 win in the Olympic trials, bringing him back to the Olympics, the oldest U.S. competitor to make the Olympics at age 41.
I feel like they put stuff in. I'm sure they do.
Follow up here a little bit. You made a statement that you weren't quite done with the Peyton Jordan Invitational, that 10,000 meters.
Yes.
They were talking about all the Masters records you were going for, right? And all of a sudden, you make a statement with a U.S. leading mark. Talk about that as a lead into this.
You know, it was great because one of the things that race itself told me was that I'm ready to train hard. I mean, to run 10K, which was my first thing. I didn't know what I was thinking going in, but I said to myself, you know what, I need a challenge. I need something that can challenge me, and also something that is going to be a good training for the 5K. But then I wasn't sure if I was going to run that event at the Olympic trials, which I did, but it didn't end up going so well. But I knew that race itself helped me in terms of getting ready for the 5,000 meters. So in a way, that race was so important, and also even that 10K at the right here at the championships was also important because that put me in a good shape and to just do what I did today.
But in the Stanford race, I think you used a little of the same strategy.
Yes, I mean, just
finishing.
Absolutely, just making sure that you're running smart, not doing so much at the beginning, but make sure you're running smart towards the end to make sure that you're not going to get boxed, you're not going to get into trouble, no tripping, but be able to, to do everything that you have to do to respond to whatever tactics that everybody's going to employ at the end. And so I was ready. I knew that I was meant to do this, even if I was not to finish first. I knew that top 3 was something that I was capable of doing today.
Well, now you go into Rio as a champion.
Yes.
And what strategy and what preparation do you do now with your experience?
The most important preparation is actually getting into a fast 5K race itself. So, because if I was to go into Rio without a hard race, that is not going to give me the good indication of how my body feels when it comes to a hard race itself.
And talk a little bit about, you had your family here, and that was a big thing for you, right? And how you performed for them.
I performed for them because here's my thing coming in here. When I came here for the trials for Beijing last year, for World Championships, I did bad. I was sick. I came here, my coach also almost told me, let's pull out of this race because the thing is you are not going to do well because you are not healthy. And I said, let me go. My kids tells me, Daddy, you can still do it. So when I came over here and I disappointed them, I did not finish the race. I mean, I finished the race, but 14th place. And it wasn't myself. That was me getting sick. And so I vowed that I will do something great for them again and the fans out here because I don't want to end out. I didn't want to finish my racing career at Hayward Field the way I did for the 10K and even at the Prefontaine Classic when I was sick again. So, but this time I ended at the perfect way, making sure that I won in front of all these people, giving me a standing ovation and all this. This is the best part.
In the 1,500 meters at the Rio Olympics, we'll have Shannon Rowbury, the American record holder out of Sacred Heart Cathedral and a former CCS star, leading the American veteran contingent. Talk a little about your 1,500 team.
Yeah, I'm really
so pleased to have made my third Olympic team. I was hoping to come away with the win today, but it was a really messy race. I was getting tripped and knocked around and cut off, and I knew though at the end of the day the number one objective was to be top 3 and just punch my ticket to Rio. So very glad that's done. Now I've got about 4.5 weeks to just keep improving my fitness and sharpening my skills so I can hopefully come home with a medal in Rio.
So you look like you ran your smart race, knowing that you just had to qualify, and talking about what you just said, because there's a lot of traffic there, and you tried to plow through and win, you could have had trouble, right?
Yeah, well, like I said, I was getting tripped from behind, clipped. Morgan cut me off with about 400 to go, and so by the time I was on the backstretch, there was just bodies all around me. So it was an exercise in patience, and I just kept looking for that opening, and once I did get clear, I just went hard the last 100. Matching up, I figured it would be between me and Jenny for the win, and she ran the smarter tactical race. She had the lead on me, and I was trying to close on her at the end, but she just had too much of an advantage. So props to her for her win today, and now I'm excited to go back and train a little bit more and hopefully come back the top American in Rio.
Yeah, well, you ran your race. You rely a little more on the finish kick, and sometimes it isn't open for you, right?
Yeah, exactly. Especially if somebody cuts you off or bodies get in the way, you just have to. You're a little bit more at the mercy of everyone around you. But like I said, top 3 was the number one main objective today. So the win would have been gravy, but to have my opportunity to race in my third Olympics, that's something I'm so grateful for.
Yeah, and you were pointing obviously all season just for this meet to make the trials, and now point for what do you have to do to get ready for Rio?
Just more hard training. We did a lot of strength work in April and in May. We didn't start doing 1,500 meter training until June. So my race at Pre was kind of lackluster. Oxy was okay. Was not the greatest either. They weren't terrible, but it just wasn't as good as I know I'm capable of. But I really was just hoping to come into my peak with the U.S. champs and then carry it out through till Rio. So I feel really confident and really good about my training, and excited to have a few more weeks to just keep getting better and hopefully give myself a shot at the medal podium in Rio.
Yeah. Do you stay here for a while? Do you get to San Francisco, or what do you do between now and then?
We'll head back up to altitude. We'll head back up to altitude in Park City, which is where we've been. I've been there since the end of April. So a couple more weeks of just hard, grueling training, and then time to go get on the big stage.
Very good. We'll see you there. At the press conference for the 3 medalists in the 1,500, Shannon elaborated about her longtime rivalry with Jenny Simpson.
Having Jenny to compete against is a huge benefit for everyone. I think, having, for me at least, and I can speak from my own experience, I've always felt that I liked having competition. I would try to rise to the occasion, and so I think the rivalry, as some have called it, but just the competition between the two of us has made both of us better. Jenny running as well as she did 2 summers ago made me realize, crap, I need to step up my game, and we were against one another in Monaco, where I ran 3:56, she was 3:57. Those were incredible times, and looking at the placing that we've had in some of the championships, looking at the placing that we've had in Monaco, and some of those women who beat us shouldn't have even been there in the first place. So we are the best in the world. It's really exciting to have 2 of the best women in the world from the United States, knowing we're doing it right, we're doing it the right way, hopefully inspiring young women, I wouldn't want it any other way.
Shannon, given everything that's kind of happened in the sport recently, are you hopeful that this could be a cleaner Olympic final in the 1,500?
I'm always hopeful for our sport that it can be a cleaner one. I thought London was going to be cleaner, and unfortunately that wasn't the case, but I'm very grateful for the new leadership of IAAF that they're making an effort to clean up the sport. The past is what it is, and it can't be changed. But I can only hope and pray for the future that it's a sport that we can be proud of. I love track and field, and I hate that the coverage we're getting in the media is about these things that are other than the accomplishments of the 3 of us sitting right here and of the other incredible athletes. And I just have to believe in my heart that we will keep moving forward and that right will out in the end.
And that wraps up our presentation of the U.S. Olympic track and field trials from Eugene, Oregon. Next stop for most of these athletes, the Rio Olympic Games.